Hello everyone, Douglas here and welcome to my Doctor Who review, and today I will be reviewing the first story out of the new series called Rose. Let's go through the production history. As you know, the classic series of Doctor Who ran from 1963 to 1989. We also had a 30th anniversary special, That Is Bad, and a TV movie from 1996 with Paul McGann as the 8th Doctor. Television producer Russell T Davies had been lobbying to the BBC to revive the show in the late 1990s and reached discussion phase in 2002. In September of 2003, it was announced that Doctor Who was coming back to television, and it was announced on the show's 40th anniversary year. Production for Doctor Who would be different. Instead of 25-minute episodes split into parts, the format of the show would be 45 minutes. Also, instead of a producer and script editor, the show would have a head writer, and that would be Russell T Davies. The show would have Russell T Davies, Julie Gardner, and Mel Young as executive producers, and the show would be produced by BBC Wales, and composing the music for the show would be Maury Gold. I remember back in 2004, I was on the internet and I saw a teaser trailer, and boy, I was excited to see new Doctor Who adventures. Series 1 would have 13 episodes, but 3 out of the 13 episodes would have 2 parts. In March of 2004, it was announced that Christopher Eccleston would be playing the 9th Doctor, and Christopher Eccleston had worked with Russell before on The Second Coming. And in May of that year, pop star turned actress Billie Piper would be playing Rose Tyler. This story would see the return of the nesting consciousness in the Autons, and the last time we saw the nesting in the Autons were in the 1970s, and that would be Spearhead from Space and Terror of the Autons. I really like the opening titles, and I love the theme song. Our opening scene begins in space, and the camera moves to Earth, and we zoom down to the UK, and we are introduced to Rose Tyler, played by Billie Piper, and she is on her way to work. We see Rose goes down to the basement, and she must give her boss money, but he is not here. We see Rose goes into a room, and she is trapped, and we see a plastic mannequin starts moving, and it's an Auton, and I found that scene really creepy. And we see more Autons moving, and we see Rose is surrounded by Autons. And we see that the Autons are about to kill Rose, and we see a hand, and it's the 9th Doctor, played by Christopher Eccleston, and his first word is, "Run." And we see the Doctor and Rose are running and getting chased by Autons. We see the Doctor and Rose made it to an elevator, and he pulls an Auton arm off, and we found out that Rose's boss is dead. And we find out that the Doctor is going to blow up the shop, and a great line from the Doctor when he says, "I'm the Doctor, by the way, what's your name?" And Rose replies saying, "Rose," and the Doctor says, "Nice to meet you, Rose, run for your life." We see Rose is outside and the shop is destroyed. And we see Rose runs by the TARDIS. It looks like Rose is unemployed now. We see Rose is back home, and we are introduced to Jackie, played by Camille Cordell, and Mickey Smith, played by Noah Clarke. A funny scene I like is when we see Mickey has the plastic arm and he is pretending to get strangled. We see Mickey throws the plastic arm away, and we hear creaking plastic. We hear the cat door flaps, and we see the Doctor. And another funny scene I like is when Jackie says, "I'm in my dressing gown," and the Doctor replies saying, "Yes, you are." And Jackie continues saying, "There's a strange man in my bedroom." And the Doctor replies saying, "Yes, there is." And Jackie says, "Well, anything could happen." And the Doctor says, "No." We see the Doctor is in the living room, and we hear something, and we see the plastic arm strangling the Doctor. One of the funniest scenes is when we see Rose is talking, and she is not paying attention until we see her walking into the living room, and she gets attacked by the plastic arm. And we see the doctor deactivates the plastic arm by using his sonic screwdriver. Another good line from the doctor when he says, "Do you know, like we were saying about the earth revolving, it's like when you're a kid and they tell you that the world's turning, but everything looks like it's standing still." We see the doctor walks to the TARDIS, and it's gone. We see Rose goes to Mickey's place to find more information on the doctor. We see Rose and Mickey go to Clive's house, and we are introduced to Clive, played by Mark Benton. We see Mickey is still waiting in the car, and we see a moving garbage can, and Mickey thinks this is a joke, and there is no one in the garbage can, and his hands are stuck on the garbage can. And I will admit, the CGI is dated, but I will give it a pass. And we see Mickey gets eaten by a garbage can. We see Rose gets back into the car with a fake Mickey, and a funny line I like from Mickey when he says, "Pizza! Pizza!" We see Rose and fake Mickey at a restaurant, and we see fake Mickey starts talking to Rose about the doctor, and he slips into an alien voice. We see someone is offering champagne, and it's the doctor. We see the doctor pops the cork, and it goes through Mickey's head, and Mickey's hands turn into paddles, and he starts attacking, and we see the doctor whips Mickey's head off, and a funny line I like when he says, "Don't think that's not gonna stop me," and we see a man scream. We see fake Mickey's body is continuing to attack, and Rose triggers the fire alarm, and everyone in the restaurant runs. We see Rose is trying to run to the gate, and the doctor goes into the TARDIS, and we see Rose runs into the TARDIS, and we see the TARDIS console room, and I love this design, and it looks great. We find out from the doctor that he can trace the original signal by using Mickey's head, and then it starts melting. I like Rose's line when she says, "If you are an alien, why do you sound like you're from the north?" And the doctor replies saying, "Lots of planets have a north." We find out from the doctor that the Nesting's fruit stock got destroyed in a war, but we will find out later which war it got destroyed. We find out that the doctor can stop the nesting by using anti-plastic. We find out from the doctor that the nesting needs a transmitter to boost the signal, and I think Rose gets the right idea that the London Eye is the transmitter. We see the doctor and Rose go underground to the nesting's lair, and we find out that Mickey is still alive. We see the doctor is talking to the nesting consciousness, and I will say this, that the nesting looks like a lava creature, but in the classic series, it was an octopus. So how did that happen? We see the Autons grabs the doctor, and one of them got the anti-plastic, and we see they got the TARDIS. We find out that the nesting is going to start the invasion plan. We see the nesting is transmitting its signal, and we see the mannequins starting to move and then attack. We see Jackie is surrounded by Autons, and we see that Jackie is about to be killed by the Autons, and Rose saves the day. And we see her knock the anti-plastic to the nesting, and the transmitter stops working, and everything is about to explode. And we see the doctor, Rose, and Mickey get into the TARDIS to escape, and the TARDIS takes off. We see the doctor drops off Rose and Mickey, and the doctor offers Rose to come with him, except Mickey. Poor Mickey. We see Rose kisses Mickey goodbye, and she runs into the TARDIS. And that's the end. I will say, Rose is a classic. And I haven't seen this story for a long time, but watching it again for the first time in years, it's better than I remembered. I will say this, that the Autons only got one story out of the new series, and that's it. Come on, Russell, you need to bring back the Autons. This story was also adapted by Target Books, and you can read the novelization. Christopher Eccleston is great in the story, including Billie Piper as Rose Tyler is great. The script by Russell T. Davies is great, and the direction by Keith Boak is good, and I would give this story a 10 out of 10. So that is my review of Rose. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time for my review of The End of the World.